Good morning, good evening, good night. NFT Live on the Web3 Network. Another day, the last episode of the week here, and we have Ronan the Collector and Gifted and Nifty Q bringing you the latest from around the industry. There's a lot that is breaking in the last hour. I think OpenSea even just posted about 3 minutes ago an update to their royalties, which we can jump into right off the bat. So we're gonna jump into a lot of this stuff. We appreciate you all for joining. We put out a post on X, so I'm getting more into the vernacular of calling Twitter X. It's happening more and more. I'm changing, but X does not have the YouTube post anymore. So for those of you all that want to help get out the channel, we're gonna find out ways to share out the show. But right now we're gonna be reposting. We're gonna be sending people into the Twitter show, but most likely we want to send everybody to this YouTube chat, this beautiful YouTube chat, if possible. Those of you that are here afterwards, we love you guys as well. Thank you for tuning in. Again, Thursday, August 17th. Ronan the Collector, my friend, how's it going?
It's good, man. Good. Just, doing the same thing as always. What up, DP in chat? I see you, brother. Yeah, man. I don't know. Not too much. I've been kind of trying to see if Twitter or X is a thing that I want to dive back into, am I going to take on those vibes again mentally? But the good thing is that I've got, notifications and shit on for you guys and the channel and stuff. So when I first get on, I get a lot of positive, really good, updates and news, cause I do see that thread, the new thread and the rehash and everything. So that's nice. Then you start digging in and it's still the dog in the middle of the room on fire, right?
This is all fine. It's a conscious choice that you have to make to be on X these days. It's tough to continue to have your authentic voice when X might give positive boost to maybe some other behavior that we don't really do, but we'll see. Gif, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm so good to be sitting up here in the try box, as you called it, next to these fine folks. Always great to have Ronan, and he's rocking his Hexspun DB's t-shirt today, which just makes me feel all kinds of warm and fuzzy. Love to see that. But yeah, man, you gotta figure out in this crazy new world, in the quote unquote capital M metaverse that we're all moving into together, how to balance and detox sometimes. So it's good to hear that you're figuring that out and trying to maybe dip your toes in, but see how the water's feeling a little bit. Dude, mental health is a real thing that we should all be careful about. And yeah, man, these channels can be a lot sometimes. So take care of yourself first. Because always remember, if you're not doing well, you can't help those around you.
Put your mask on
first.
Yeah.
One of those things that I found that's really helpful, when you're going through it, is to help get yourself out of it. Pick up the phone one morning, right? And start your day by just calling 2 or 3 homies and just being yo, how are you doing? Really, and just listen, shut your mouth. Don't tell them anything about how you're feeling or how you're dealing with your own shit and how you're stressed out and depressed and all these other things, but call your friends, check up on them, see how their mental health is doing. And then when you get off, I don't know, something there's something about just reaching out to someone you care about and letting them know you care. And you're just checking on them, that helps you feel better about yourself and help. I don't know. That's something that has helped me recently, just kind of starting to reach out to those homies I hadn't talked to in a while.
I feel like we spent a good amount of last episode as well talking about how we're not being able to be burnt out here in the space. So we're not going to spend as much time on it. I feel like we are experienced in that matter, though. We're still here today. If you are here today in the Web3 space, we salute you because it's bear markets vibes still, but we do have a post from Delphi Digital that might make you feel a little bit better. We are going to get to a lot of the breaking stuff. Like I said, OpenSea just had an announcement. Rec League, we've been hitting on Rec League for at least a calendar month here. They finally have that mint go live today. Ronan, I'm going to show you a post here that's going to give you major Top Shot vibes. There's a queue open right now. There's about 10,000 folks in that line, and people are waiting to get their Rec League. Let's see. Let me make sure I got it. This is Top Shot vibes.
Let's go. Yep, that is definitely totally. Is this minting on fucking, what is it on, Polygon?
I believe it's on Ethereum.
This is also Nifty's vibes. I remember the one or two times that I got in a line over at Nifty's, which that's not, neither of those are great reference.
No, but you know, like I don't know. I would probably prefer like the queue system over like some of the other options. You know, like the gas wars and shit like that.
That's fair. Yeah. So we're going to cover that Rec League mint that's happening now. There are boxes being traded now on secondary. You can see the floor price there. So keep in mind the mint price here was 0.15. So we will see how this works out. Unique ownership now at 21%, but potentially can see that work its way out as that mint continues throughout the next hour, because that's been happening again for like the last 30 minutes. We can get into some other things, but Gifted, before we do, let them know what we're not here. What are we not doing on NFT Live today?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. We are absolutely not going to be petting any Shiba Inu dogs today. They've been bad. They've been bad boys, all of them. They have not been good boys. So just if you see a Shiba Inu, do not pet it today. That was important. Thank you for reminding me, Q.
All right, and we are not financial advisors. Do not take anything of what we say and take that and trade off of it. We're certainly not doing that here. So, yeah, thanks, Gif. You left me out. You left me out there. Thanks. But the Shiba Inus, I got a Shiba myself, so I gave him a pet today. Mitchell F. Chan, Boys of Summer, minted out yesterday, 999, pretty fast. There were complaints that there might have been some bot action, but our boy Biggie Poppins got a Boys of Summer here. So floor price sitting at 0.17. I need to, what was the mint price again on these?
0.12.
0.12. So I know they ran to like 0.4 on the day of. So yeah, again, shout out to any of you folks that are playing Boys of Summer. Next time we have Biggie Poppins on the show, he did have a quick trip to San Diego, so he couldn't be here today. So shout out to Biggie wherever you are.
Yeah, big love to Biggie. Congrats on getting in on that. And, you know, it seems like he's going to be hodling it. It's going to be interesting to see how this one does kind of long term. Like, does the novelty and interest wear off after people kind of play the game once? Are they kind of like, oh, okay, you know, the PFP is not my style. I did the game. It was cool, but now I don't want to hold this anymore. Or do people appreciate it for what it is, the art experiment, as this unique, different sort of PFP with the metadata game added onto it and the sort of social commentary of the game. So yeah, I'll be really curious to just follow up on this one over the coming weeks and months just to see where it goes.
All right, we are square in the middle of the episode here talking about all of the breaking stuff. Again, Boys of Summer there, but we do want to continue on the Rec League piece. This is from Rec League's profile, okay? So they're retweeting everybody that's successfully minting. This also came out here earlier in the day, which was that they officially revealed the 50% revenue share to mech owners for selling non-NFT copies of their mechs in a Web2 in-game store. So right before mint, of course, they released the juicy stuff. But essentially, if you have a mech NFT now, which if you have a Majestic box, if you mint these Majestic boxes that have the full parts, you can create one Founder's mech and play the game. But you can also have the Web2 component, which is going to come later next year. You're going to be able to create your mech. And if somebody likes your mech, or maybe you win a tournament and competition and your mech is somehow famous, the Web2 side is going to be tied into your assets. So you actually get a 50% revenue split or split. This was, I think, talked about really like positively in the morning show that we just came off of. One of the good analogies I think was used was the Bored Ape t-shirts that are being sold in like Walmarts, right? Like basically you're taking the IP and you're essentially having a situation where you can go and sell that and you're getting a split based on having owned that IP, that specific ape. So it's not a one-to-one reference, but I think there's a little bit of an analogy there.
Well, I think a rev share is a form of distributed IP, right? It's like part of the IP ownership is the revenue that comes with it. And so sharing that revenue is, in a sense, distributing some part of the rights of the IP. So this is an example of distributed IP that, of course, Bored Apes is famous for pioneering right now. I think this is super exciting. And, I can dig into why, but I first want to get Ronan's thoughts on this because we've already been talking about it. I already know my thoughts. What is Ronan think about this?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I mean, so to my understanding, it's basically they'll be selling like skins in the game, like in the ecosystem,
Yes.
and then like whoever purchases like your skin, you get 50% of those sales.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense. And what I like about it is that they are inherently giving you that outlet, right? Like the difference between them and Bored Apes is like Bored Apes, you have to go and find your own like, you know, partners to make out these deals and produce IP based on your ape. I'm curious, does it come with like ownership as well? So can I go and take that skin and like go and, you know, create a toy out of it to promote it or something? You know, like, can I now almost do like a lot of people did with their apes and create a brand from my specific mech and that skin, right? Like to me, like that is the type of things that are really interesting, right? Like, can I go out and create some cool campaign where I'm in the forums and Discord and I'm trying to get people to like, you know, love my skin and pick it up. And if they buy it, maybe I'm like, you know, now I'm providing like cool perks to them because they go and they pick it up because they're driving revenue into my pocket, right? Like,
that's a little bit of a Top Shot model, right? Like that's what we saw with some of the athletes were saying, hey, if you buy my Top Shot card, I'll give you special access to like games. You can sit floor side. All of that gamified mechanic kind of comes out.
Yeah, we're seeing this interesting overlapping / blurred lines between like affiliate marketing, creator codes, rev share, distributed IP, and then just like new third-party businesses spinning up around these economies. And, you know, you mentioned an interesting differentiator, which was saying that this is kind of out of the box, coming with some kind of market support or distribution mechanism for these, you know, entrepreneurs or creators, UGCs, however you want to start to think about these people. But I would actually say, you know, now Bored Ape, you know, they didn't out of the box have all that, but now with Made by Apes, that's a big part of what they're doing is they are creating the infrastructure and their own marketplaces. I think they're even going to have like bodegas and stuff where they're housing a bunch of these as well, not just like the online stores and the additional marketing that goes around having these Made by Ape licenses. But it's really exciting to see that and more support coming out for UGC, for creators, for community. And, you know, we even got into a lot of the conversation around what Elon's starting to do with X, talking about, oh, why doesn't Netflix or other companies start to do these different things? But on X, you know, Elon is starting to lean into creator rewards and payments in different ways. And it's one of the more exciting things happening over there right now. So I don't know, man, I'm very excited because we know in gaming and entertainment writ large, but gaming especially, that these companies have been extremely extractive, not rewarding the community, the people that are really, you know, contributing, building, spending hours and hours, investing in these brands, these companies, these games. There really hasn't been anything like a revenue share model available. And so if these things can start to get some traction, some interest, show some kind of successful use cases, the gaming industry is going to have to pay more attention.
It's also, if you're sitting there and you're like, hey, I'm not a gamer, but I like, I'm in the art space, or I love metaverse land plays, or I'm just like doing something,
or just
else
social media.
Yeah, anything.
Just social media.
I'm in the crypto space, like any type of W right now. So Rec League essentially minting out and doing so in the right ways, right? Like not having any kind of fuck ups, not having any type of gas wars. These are just W's to stack on top of each other. So not saying that they're going to change the fate of the industry as it stands today, and your floor price is going to go up because Rec League is minting out and being successful, but it has something to do with it. It's a step in the right direction. So we will see. Apparently, there's a little bit of breaking news on this mint that's live now. Rec League made it clear that line placement would be random. In the first 5 minutes, they realized line spots have been given out consecutively. So they closed it, reopened it, and started over. That's from Adam Hollander there. So a little bit of controversy, but we are seeing above mint price, 0.15 ETH about was the mint price. We are seeing it now.
What's the Bored Ape component to this queue? So you have like a separate mint coming up?
So Coda Mint is the first mint. So it's going to be in 3 waves, right? Codas get to mint first. MAYCs and BAKC holders get to mint on that second wave. And then third wave is going to be the BAYC holders. These are all going to happen later on. So we actually have like weeks of this, and then a September 14th reveal. I believe, on the entirety of these. So you see them trading right now on OpenSea. We've shown you the Majestic boxes here. These aren't going to be officially revealed until that September 14th date, I believe. So we see some comments coming through. We will get to those, but we are heavily in the Rec League talk right now as this mint is live. Gif, you make a great point on like the usage, right, of NFTs in these games. The other thing I really like is it's turning, just like we saw BAYC members, into essentially like, I want to make sure I get this word right, like they're missionaries, right? Like they go out there and display the Bored Ape IP. They are really mercenary or missionaries for this. That's what you're going to see with these games now. Streamers are going to have the ability to say, hey, look, this is my mech. And actually, I have the incentive to share that out with all of my followers so that they buy mine. Like Ninja could share his mech and people want to buy Ninja's mech. And now you have Rec League being, shown to the masses. It's a great
it's taking like the Roblox, right? Like that Roblox model and like applying it. I mean, my son is 6 years old and he loves like video games and he watches YouTube, and there's a streamer, and the very first skin he ever asked me for in this damn game was the streamer's special skin. And now he runs around with the streamer skin and everybody knows that it's the streamer skin. He comes across other ones that are wearing it. You instantly know they're fans. Like there's a lot of power in branding, right? And so when you are tied to an image and in this case a skin, there's a lot of power that comes behind it if you choose to leverage that and you have the skills to build that brand. And I think that's massive for creators.
It's really interesting as we start to see more use cases and models tested out around distributed IP and what this looks like. This to me is an example of the concept of permissionless. What does permissionless mean within entertainment IP and the ability to go out there and do whatever you want? Because, you brought up like Ninja making a mech. Like gaming companies have done this in a very permissioned way. They partner with creators to launch a skin and promote it together, right? But they don't just permissionlessly distribute the IP out there and say anybody can go and do this. And I'm curious to see how the Rec League platform, how they curate that. Will they also be partnering directly in that more sort of permission curated aspect to bring in some big gamers? But either way, you now can be a creator, basically partnered with the IP in a way, permissionlessly. And again, this is not something that has really happened in gaming before, and it's very exciting. And we're going to be talking more about it as it rolls out.
I love it. Yeah, I want to show off the ape coin price as well. We had a full recovery. So we saw like a pre-mint hype price pump to about 218, I believe, at its height. And then we fell right back down to that pre-pump level of about 175, which is, I believe, like we're in those all-time low categories at this point. Like ape's been trending downward. So we want to see some positive movement here from ApeCoin. It's also a great example of trying to figure out how a token can work within a gaming ecosystem. We saw the AXS tokens, we saw the SLP tokens, the play to earn, kind of here today, gone tomorrow. So we want to see ApeCoin do well. This mint isn't fully ApeCoin. We did have Rocky come through as well. There was a comment from Rocky saying, fantastic mint system, minted 20 for only 35 USD in gas. So that's good to hear as well, that the mint has gone off flawlessly, besides that kind of 5-minute reversal to fully random.
And 20 of them, that's you got a bag over there. Congratulations on that. I excited to hear your thoughts on how that goes, man. Congrats.
All right, I'm gonna look here on for any thing to close out this portion of the episode, but you can see, and I'll link it here in chat. We have recleague.xyz, and you can see the booster boxes and Majestic boxes there as they are being sold live. It looks like there's about 18,000 left, but I think this is going again in line, and there are about 11,000 people in line.
Is that how many are left or how many are minted?
How many are left?
Okay, got it. Because I was going to say there's a lot already minted, but either way, that's already 7,000 of the Majestics minted or something very quickly. So congrats to Rec League as they're figuring this out. It does seem like there's a lot of interest, and I have to say, for my last thoughts on this, there haven't been that many Web3 games that got me like genuinely sort of interested in playing and excited, other than, again, what Yuga's done with Dookie Dash and Forge. I just really Gods Unchained I did get into briefly, but there just hasn't been that many Web3 games coming out that I said, this looks cool. There's some awesome mechanics. I think this could actually be something interesting. Rec League actually has me interested, and I do want to play this and try and figure out how to get into it. So, my sentiment is really positive.
All right, I want to move on to the next topic here, which is, while we were on CoinGecko, I want to show off 2 tokens that we told you about. Again, this is not financial advice, but we covered the Reddit ecosystem. We covered Reddit avatars, and when these ERC20s, essentially social tokens, came out of both the Fortnite and the cryptocurrency subreddits, this is Moon and Brick. We kind of said, hey, there's something going on here. Whether it goes into the meme coin season or it goes into whatever this like next utility token season, those are going to maybe do well. We didn't follow our own advice. And Brick token, since we talked about it, so it's up 40% on the day. Fortnite Bricks token again, over the last 14 days, Gifted, it's up 800%. That is there on the Arbitrum ecosystem. That would have been nice to take our own advice on.
Sheesh.
I'll look.
That's all I got to say about that.
I think there's another token in that ecosystem as well, Donut. I was being shilled that. So you can see Moon is the larger of the tokens there on Reddit. That's going to be for the subreddit cryptocurrency. That is down 9%, but overall up about 14% on the 30 days. So not nearly as much. It looks like the Fortnite token just got the bid there. It would have been nice to get into that one. Sarah, you're not shadow banned, I don't think.
She said she keeps writing lick the like, and it keeps stopping and banning her. Y'all, for Sarah's sake, and to combat the fascist overlords over at YouTube, go ahead and lick the like right now. Lick it. Lick the like. Thanks, Sarah Script.
Speaking of a little bit of housekeeping there, a little bit of community news. We did have a quantum variant Nifty kit spaces, right? Gif, can you find the link to that and put it in the private chat so I can show it there on the screen here?
I mean, I'll look for it, but no.
Why are you giving me a hard time today? Why are you doing this?
Why else am I here? Why else would I be here?
All right, while Gifted is giving me a hard time, we are going to get to this breaking OpenSea announcement. So this was posted right before we press live. Just going quickly, I believe some of it had to deal with the way that they handle royalties. OpenSea says, we launched our operator filter so creators could restrict secondary sales to Web3 marketplaces that enforce creator fees, but we relied on opt-in by the entire ecosystem, which didn't happen. So we're making a few changes to our approach to creator fees. Starting August 31st, we are sunsetting the OpenSea operator filter, move to optional creator fees on all secondary sales for new collections, improve visibility of creator fee settings and listings on buyer and seller side. More below. Here's how this plays out. After August 31st, new collections creator fees are optional. Existing collections will enforce preferred creator fees on OpenSea through February 29th, 2024. Optional after. And existing collections not using our operator filter have no change. Is this moving the needle for you guys? I don't know what's happening. What are they doing?
It's not simple or clear enough. This is the chasm of complexity with OpenSea and royalties right now. Is that it's just like people just want simple answers, and it's not simple, unfortunately. The part that I took out of that is that for new collections moving forward, it's going to be totally optional royalties. That's what it sounded like. But I didn't even catch most of the rest of that.
Yeah, I don't know if this is exactly a positive move for those of you that like are going to be and we all support obviously like full creator royalties for creators in the space. I don't think this is a positive move. It's saying move to optional creator royalties on all secondary sales for new collections. Improve visibility, I guess, is a positive, but how much of that is positive? we'll see. But yeah, I was expecting them to again have a really good move here, and again, OpenSea lets me down.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's an easy situation. So I'll be, I don't know that there's an easy answer here, unfortunately. So
I thought the easy answer was enforce creator royalties.
Okay, if we're being honest, that would be probably the easiest answers on their platform. Yeah, on their platform, just enforce royalties. But, they're a money-making business, and they're not really about artists like that. They're not ride or die with the artists. Come on.
Facts. All right. We did have a comment earlier about Frank DeGods, Machi Big Brother. The ad nauseum takes on DeGods are just getting absolutely out of control. We have more DeGods news to bring you, unfortunately. Maybe we spend a lot of time, maybe we don't.
But
a co-founder of DeGods left late last night. Dear Polygon community, dear NFT community, I have to leave. Anyways, we'll get to that in just a second. If you haven't smashed the like for these awesome creators up here, we appreciate y'all for doing so. All right, any last takes here, Gif? I haven't seen a link come in either, so I know you just...
I can't find it. I tried, Q. I looked on both Nifty Kit and Quantum Variants Twitter. Maybe they haven't published it yet. So yeah, Quantum, come tell us where it is and we'll pull it up. But shout out to Quantum Variant, one of our very favorite community members and a dope artist and educator in the space. He's launching some new stuff coming up. So we're going to cover that on the DeGods thing. Yeah, let's not spend too much time on it, please. I think that the copium has been crazy.
Well, let's lay the foundation for the actual story. So what do you know about what's happening with the DeGods Co-Founder now? And also I'll fill in a little bit on the Machi side.
It's Finn DeGods, Finny? Yeah, this I guess is one of the co-founders who's been part of building the DeGods project and brand for the last 2 years, is conspicuously leaving at a not great time. And so I don't want to over speculate why or any of that, but it does seem like you could have just waited a month to announce it. Even if you're leaving, go ahead and leave, but just announcing it like this right now when shit's already hitting the fan and they recently just had a not great rollout and the floors dropped 50 to 60% or whatever it has. It just seems like a poor choice in timing. So I'm not saying that there's I'm not saying that there's some evil plot or a rug here. I'm just saying timing wise, it doesn't seem great. And the copium that's out there with the whole Machi stories has just been a lot, man. It's been a lot. And I think, again, that meme of the Bored Ape on the trust on the stage about to be hung with the rope around its neck saying, "Hey, is this your first time?" Yeah, it's your first time here. What's going on? That's just the vibe that I get. It's the DeGods' first time going through this type of ground shaking, revelation that maybe their perfect project, their bags are not safe after all.
Yeah, and what Gifted is mentioning here is the fact that Machi now owns, I believe, 300 to 400 gods. It's vacillating wildly because he's selling them as well. So they're stuck in this kind of blur Machi situation where a larger whale, which that's a whole nother discussion to be had. The fact that one dude, even though he's a multimillionaire, can move the markets like this is ridiculous. And it shows how early we are, but just how easy it is to move things like floor price with one single wallet. So anyways, just to lay a little bit of foundation, and Ronan, I do want your take there on Finn leaving the ecosystem as well. It looks like there were some other whales. So I don't know if they're smaller whales, bigger whales, but other whales were trying to sweep in here and buy DeGods off of Machi OTC, meaning they would just kind of handle the trade outside of the market so that nothing can get dumped. I think they even are exclaiming here that they would voluntarily lock the DeGods up after purchasing it from Machi here for about 6 months. So this all happened overnight. OTC's trying to step in because essentially what would happen is if he hit the sell button on 400 DeGods, I don't know where the price would end up. Like I can even look on Blur right now, look at how many bids there are for 400 DeGods, and that price would probably go down to about 2 ETH, 2.5. I don't know where it would end up. So that's kind of laying the foundation for what happened overnight with this Machi situation. I'll open it up. I'll definitely get y'all's comments in chat, but Ronan, Gif, what do y'all think?
Yeah. As far as like the co-founder, you know, I think that like life happens, you know, and I'm more of the opinion, like if you're on your way out and, you know, maybe it's his last week, like you can't sit on that news. You know what I mean? Like people have to know that. And if people find out that without you being the one to tell them, then you're in more shit. Right. So I'm super big on like being transparent. And then as far as like the other stuff, man, anytime Machi gets into a project, just fucking look out. It's going to be a ride. So, you know, there's not much else to say about that. I think that, you know, if you've got a DeGods, like you're probably sitting on the edge of your chair right now, wondering what's going to happen next. And if you're not, then you're probably thinking like, well, come on, Machi, do what you do and let me get in at a low. So, you know, yeah, two sides to every coin. But yeah, you know, that's the part of this space that's kind of crazy to what you said earlier is like, you know, one dude that, you know, because he's got so much money can just go in and just move a market one way or the other. And it does become really unfortunate when he chooses to like flex that so he can pick up pennies on Blur. I don't know. I'm still confused as the way this man works sometimes.
Farming.
Like the massive L's he takes. I'm like, where's the positive? Is it the Blur tokens? Are they still worth that much? Got to take, you know, I think somebody said he lost like 400 like ETH between the time he got in to DeGods and the time he got like, or to the point they posted. So
look, I do hate how we've covered the WAGMI news, which was definitely inherently negative, and now we're covering Machi. It definitely feels like bear market talk, bear market topics. I will say, Machi Big Brother, if you look at his past with specifically Cream Finance, that's what lays my foundation of how I think about the guy. Cream got hacked multiple times. There was a lot of shady behavior in that DeFi protocol and like what happened around it. That's what lays my foundation for saying Machi doesn't have the best of intentions for his community. And for this community, he's very, in my opinion, very self-centered. Maybe that's just a finance, that's the finance take. You know, it's kill or be killed out here. But Machi definitely, to me, is not a guy who has everybody's best intentions, specifically when he's picking up 300 to 400 of these collections. So guys that are calling him not the enemy, look at his checkered past with Cream.
He's not your friend. You know, it's interesting to hear you say that though, because, you know, you're usually on the side of like, well, liquidity is what we need. Blur's not all bad because of that. And like Machi's a big part of that whole story. So I don't know. It's interesting. Seems like a paradox a little bit of a paradox at play, maybe.
Machi uses Blur. So he uses that exchange. I think that's a little bit different than me calling out Blur. So I said Machi I don't think is the greatest guy. I didn't say anything about Blur or that team and their morals. So I don't know where you pull that in.
Chat's like lit right now, man. Jessica says he's a masochist. Jacob Brown says Machi's community is a one of one.
He also says, what if Shirley Lowe is secretly Machi? It might
Machi's
be
been doxxed. Machi his name is Jeff Huang, and
but Shirley Lowe hasn't. Maybe the person behind Shirley Lowe is also Machi. Maybe Shirley Lowe is Machi's burner account. Yo, this is the greatest conspiracy of all time. Let's spin that one up, fam. Everybody go out there.
Stay on the man's good side because he's still got 6016 in his
fair.
wallet.
Don't go for my project.
Trade it back.
Don't come to me and
come to my
Ronan's project. All right, so I want to get it. So last, any takes there on Finn leaving there from chat, or any way we want to round out the DeGods situation? I'm exhausted at this point. Frank has now put himself into the model of like, I am the underdog. He's kind of rallied the community and said like, we got to stick together. This is us, which I think is part of his playbook. To our point, Gifted yesterday, like he's playing a character. Like he's definitely like, that's why I don't put him in like the original thought category, because what he's essentially doing is saying, this is what the community or the space likes. I'm going to be that person. And I think that's what Frank's doing right now.
Yeah, I think, he's good at marketing. And I think that he understands like what needs to be done like over time, right? So like taking the position of like being an underdog is smart right now because like it'll pay off later. I think what everybody in this space needs to understand right now, and no offense to anybody who's like, who feels differently, but like I am of the opinion that most people are dealing with the negative effects of a bear market, and the only time that they're going to jump into anything and put any ETH online is with the intent of gaining more ETH from whatever they put in. I feel very strongly that 99% of the space, including fucking myself, man, I'm not spending any ETH on anything that I'm not thinking that I'm going to make a better return on because of where we are in the economy. So I think like if you're going into any of these projects thinking like this is going to pump and then it's going to stay like, valuable over time and all this stuff, I just think that like you're probably kidding yourself a little bit, right? Like make the smart moves, like if you get into a project, like, if you really love it, buy two, sell one at a positive. So you stay positive and then keep the one. So you're part of the community. But don't put yourself out there with this thought of like, we're going to have these massive or these projects pump and then stay that way. Like even like, what is it? The boys, right? Like it went to 0.4, you said, and it's down to almost mint price in 24 hours. Like, that's where we're sitting right now. So just take stock and save your mental health.
Yeah, Marty apparently bought the top. So
I saw Jess
right now
on that.
The top of boys. He bought the top of the boys. Think about that one, Marty. Yeah.
Even in a project like DeGods, that is essentially what we sat up here and said was like they're a mirror for the space right now. This is what the space wants. You have sellers that are panicking, selling into Machi. Like Machi just didn't like wave a wand and say, I have 400 DeGods now. People sold him the DeGods. Like these are users that are leaving or don't have there's not enough value being created that they feel that they need to dump it.
It's all the paper hands being outed, all those hardcore, die hard DeGods fans. They're all being outed as paper hands when it comes down to it. And yeah, like Ronan was saying, people are only loyal to their bags right now. If you think people are going to be loyal to any of these projects, like it's just not where we're at right now in the market. Yeah.
And you can see it. And this is the thing, like if you want to like try to like sit in, a corner with your, I don't know, hands over your eyes, like open them a little bit, go into like these discords for these communities and see the things that people are saying. And like, if you read into like the narrative that they're pushing, it's very much like, it seems like what they want is utility and purpose and usefulness and to see this thing, evolve. But really what they want is for you as a project manager or whatever to figure out how to
pump their bags.
Exit liquidity. They're looking for someone to find exit liquidity for them. So just be aware that that's like a majority of the space outside of, like, in my opinion, genuine art. You know what I mean?
That is having a little bit of a comeback. You do feel like that is bear market proof in a sense.
Yeah, we had an interesting convo on Project Pharos with Black Dave about art for art's sake, right? Pure, true art, pure art. Or really, I was like, what does that mean? It just means art for art's sake. I've been starting to say that one of the biggest prevailing narratives I see coming out of this bear market is how well the fine art NFT collectible market has held up and how well that's going to do in the future. Because I think we are seeing the proving of the use case of digital art as assets for legitimate art. So I'm not talking about PFP, just regular PFPs and utility plays and IP. I'm talking about the crypto punks, maybe Bored Apes. Bored Ape kind of crosses into that a little bit at this point, but it's still kind of, utility as well. But crypto punks, Fidenzas, a lot of generative art, Squiggles, shout out Marty, we got to give you the love, Squiggles, Ringers,
and Gibbs voice saying that.
ringers, a lot of these fine art, high end generative art, the Tyler Hobbses, the Jack Butchers, these things are performing way better than most of the market. And as we all know, as we all know, that's so annoying. It's like when you say obviously. So I retract that previous part of the statement. But art has always been a store of value. Fine art has always been a store of value for smart money, for whales, for big money in the past. And now they're starting to understand that with digital art, you can do the same. And also it's more liquid. It has other benefits as well. And I just think that in the future, man, like these fine art, not PFPs, but fine art NFTs are going to continue to thrive. And that's, I think, Ronan, you were just saying that with your comment, something like that, right? Not financial advice. One of the best places that you can be looking right now is to get fine art from really well-known established artists and cool upcoming artists, I think. Because the art is the utility, right? You're not relying upon a team to be constantly pumping your bags. You're just relying upon that art and that artist to be recognized and do well.
All right, we are moving on to the next topic here. We will get to some of your comments there as we're kind of halfway, if not a little bit more, into this episode of NFT Live. The last episode of the week, by the way. So give it a like. We will be back next week again. We're here every week with y'all, just surviving the bear market. And I guess this is a good time to share out. Like if you want some positive, fuzzy feelings about where we are in the industry, because that's always the overarching, I feel like cloud that is, when are we going to get back to feeling like this is a bull market? And there was a great post that Mike Finch added to the Telegram this morning. He was sharing a Delphi Digital basically report. Let me make sure I've got this. So this is from Delphi Digital. It's going to give you all the warm and fuzzies. But you can see crypto market cycles, rinse and repeat. It's a long read in the sense that, it's few, to 4 or 5 paragraphs long. The TLDR on this is going to be found at the bottom. So it's saying basically, where exactly are we in this current cycle? Well, we've already suffered through a period of pain with an 80% price drawdown from prior cycle highs. We're now 9 months past that cycle bottom back in November, which would put us 15 months out from a recovery to the previous cycle high. The April 2024 halving is on schedule to occur again in April, 18 months after BTC's bottom, just like prior cycles, which also aligns with a new all-time high by Q4 2024. For reference, that would put us right around, and this is important, early Q4 2019 of last cycle. So what does that all say? What is that? If that's word salad to you, basically what they're saying is that all of the cycle, and this is what I've been parroting pretty much for the entirety of the bear market, is like we've had multiple cycles before. The same questions. When are we going back? What's happening? Are we all dead? This has all happened before. You can see the cycle chart here starting in 2014. That there was a period of extreme bullishness and then a pullback, and then a period of extreme bullishness and then a pullback. And we saw, if you look, and I can zoom in, that in 2019, which again, Q4 2019, this is where they're saying we're at right now. What happened over the preceding or next 2 years? That's the run up that we saw in 21 and 2022, to which now we've fallen off late 2022 and have been in a bear market for the last year and a half, if not longer. So it's basically saying we're at this point. If you want to get some warm and fuzzies, the worst essentially is ish over in if you're looking at it from this crypto market cycle Bitcoin halving cycle. Could it be that easy? I don't know. Could it just be every Bitcoin halving, we just get that bullishness back? I don't know. But that's what Delphi Digital is saying.
It's my first, like, I think I speak for a lot of people that are around these days when I say, like, this is my first time going through all of it, right? Like, I was here, I got in, at the mid of 2020 and just been riding that wave. So, the last year and a half has been it's been it's a test. And this is really cool to see, right? Because I really do believe, and I think that, like, when you look at, like, all the long-term stuff when it comes to the financial world, it runs in cycles, right? And so for me, this is, as somebody, again, who's new, and this is the first, like, I went through a bull, I'm now going through this bear. It's good to hear something positive and to hear that, like, hey, we've seen this before, like, based on, historical data and previous cycles. Like, this is about what we're looking at, and this is about what we can look at over the next 12 to 18 months.
This is my Left Action. I was saying, this is my third time going through it all.
I know everything.
Happy 80th birthday.
I need to have you on speed dial.
A little bit of a more context here. Again, we're sitting at around 20K BTC. That was all-time highs back in 2017, right? Like, that's, again, we're making higher lows is essentially the thesis here. So we're sitting at former all-time highs where everybody was euphoric. Now everyone's like, oh, 20K Bitcoin, shit. So Go ahead, Giff.
I mean, yeah, shit. When I got in, I remember it was like 9,800 or something. And everybody's like, this is a good time to buy. And I'm like, I don't know, man. And, like, shit, we haven't seen that ever since. So, you look at Bitcoin, I don't know, I'm a long-term person. So it's like, I look at Bitcoin, I'm like, it's still up, right? It's kind of like the same thing with, like, I don't know, the apes. It's like, I spent one ETH on my ape. I mean, it's still up.
Yeah. Well, as much as we shit on, like, Solana, and their NFT community, if you just bought Solana, you'd be up like 300% on the year. You know what I mean? Everything's relative. And Jess is over here, though, pointing out, like, why are we even talking about any of this? All she really wants to know is when the next 10K PFP for 0.1 ETH is coming. A great point. Let's get back to that. But no, the reason why it's important is because we're zooming out here. We're zooming out and we're seeing that, hey, we are part of an ecosystem, a much larger ecosystem, bigger than ourselves. It's the circle of life. It's the circle of crypto. It is the cycle that rules everything. And there really is a circle and a cycle to life. It's death and rebirth, and birth and then death. And so much in life operates on cycles, and crypto is no exception to that. And so you now have enough data points that you can look back and say, these are roughly 4-year cycles in crypto. Will it be the same every time? Even if you don't believe that, if you believe that cycles happen and that your markets do cycle, then you should still feel relatively confident that at some point things turn around. But this is obviously technical analysis, trying to really pinpoint and give a much clearer example based upon historical data where the next bull run or highs will come in. It seems like it's been pretty clear how it goes. Again, I'm not convinced that it necessarily will play by the same exact 4-year cycle every time, but I do still believe, even if it's not exactly 4 years or not exactly to the day or the month, the cycles cycle.
The cycle. You heard it here first. The cycles be cycling. All right. Hopefully you lick that like. Someone that might not be around here for that cycle is going to be anybody that invested and sent money to Shibarium. So we want to cover this real quick. This was kind of a funny piece of news. I'm sorry if you were involved in this. Today in shitcoins, this comes from Wizard of Soho. SHIBA bridge wrecked everyone, but also we have a new SHIBA that's ripping. So amazing. I love the DeFi space. TLDR here, Shibarium was going to be this new, I believe, layer 2 that was going to have Shiba Inu as its token. And the devs messed up the bridge. People started to bridge. It was like 1.2 to like $2 million worth of assets. And you can see the message from the Telegram here. We effed up hard. We can't recover the ETH bridge. We made an error with going live. Unfortunately, all the bridge assets are lost. We will all start anew together in the new Shibarium coming in 2 weeks. I love that. I love how he flipped that right there at the end. Unfortunately, all the bridge assets are lost, but we'll start anew together.
Dude, I have to fucking salute the ballsiness of some of the devs and like project founders in the space that do this. They will literally lose millions of dollars, rug a project, and simultaneously announce the next project is coming. I've seen this so many times in the space now. It's fascinating to me. It's the type of people that keep chasing Poly or like some of them are like BitBoy. It's like that mentality of like, maybe if I just flog myself enough times and hit myself hard enough, I will become a crypto millionaire. One of these days, if I just lick the like enough times, all of these NFT Live co-hosts will actually come to my birthday party. That's actually true. If you lick the like enough, we will show up. We will fly out to wherever your birthday party is.
I'm not doing that.
Down.
You signed the paperwork.
I'm not.
Q.
Lick the like.
Ronan's in. Lick the like. All right.
All right. I am going to move on. I don't know how, but I'm going to try. We're going to hit a couple different stories. And then the last topic I want to hit on today, I want to make sure I've got it. I thought there was something big. I guess not. I guess that was it. I do have a grapes little piece of alpha. I'm not going to share who shared this info with me, but I do have a little bit of info. You can see that grapes are running again as I go down this list of just evisceration. Where are the grapes? Here we go. They're up 20% on the 7-day. I want to quickly speak on some of this information that I got. Let me try to open this image up so that I don't dox the person that sent this to me. So this is the Sandbox game buying grapes this morning. So that's like multiple grapes being bought by the Sandbox Games. What you can probably take away from this is the Animoca connection. Again, grapes are backed by Animoca. Sandbox is backed by Animoca. This is the Animoca flywheel, if you will. But grapes are being purchased. So that's a little bit of alpha by Sandbox Game. The other piece to this is that grapes might be running because of, and I want to make sure I get this correct, grapes dropping these things called bunches to grapes holders. So bunches are going to yield their grape coin, grape token. So as you can tell, this is a very, very thick DeFi play. There is an NFT component. The grapes themselves are going to yield, I think, on a running basis, these bunches that are then going to yield grape coin. So it's kind of a CyberKong scenario. Yeah, the CyberKong's banana token that was being yielded, but Grape token is being bought up by Sandbox Game. They're up about, I know they're up 12% on the 7-day, or 20% on the 7-day, up a lot more than that over the last 30 days. Let me pull this chart up as well, and then I'll get y'all's take. So grapes are sitting at 0.2. They are now at 0.6 over the last month. A lot of this, I think, on all the DeFi speculation that I just told you about.
Yeah, I think like the experienced people in this space can see a real good Ponzi when they can identify a good Ponzi when they see one. So they looked at the tokenomics. They said, this shit'll work. And so they picked up the floor. They got the NFTs they need so they can get the coins they need so they can dump those and get their exit liquidity. I think we're just in that type of cycle, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being negative, but like, I don't see much happening like long term with too many of these projects, you know. Like there's no way I see the grapes lasting nearly as long as Kongs have. Also, I got to drop in like 2 minutes.
It's interesting that you say that because, and to me, it looks like a mobile game coming out of this, and I am actually feeling more bullish on it. The chat is lit, by the way. I've been having a great time reading y'all over there. But I'm actually like seeing Rec League, which is another Animoca project, and the way that they're rolling out, it's making me more bullish on grapes and everything that Animoca is doing. Because I think that there's probably more here than just the CyberKong's DeFi aspect with the NFTs. I think there is going to be a game behind this. So you might be right. And obviously a lot of the speculation right now is just that DeFi Ponzi-nomics. But if there is a legit like game, mobile game, something else that comes on the back of this with grapes, and they can build, like what was it called? Angry Birds or some shit like that, like some kind of cool mobile game with this, like might be a little bit more, might have a few more legs. And I don't know. All of that is just hopium coming off the back of being interested in Rec League, I think.
If you were an astute listener yesterday, Kagiyan was telling you why CyberKongs and why the Genkai mint on Ronin did so well is because there's an individual in that ecosystem with a lot of money, a la a little bit of what we're seeing with Machi, that can make sure that because the liquidity is so low in this space, because it takes so little money to punch a project up in this space, that it'll be successful. That's a little bit of what you see with things that are touched by Animoca. So going to be watching the grapes. I might pick up some. I mean, honestly, this is the best takes I've had in the space, or the best moves that I've made in the space, or when a buddy says, "Hey, check this out." And there's a lot of things that I passed on, including CyberKongs, when somebody told me that. So I think that that's definitely something I'm going to follow up on. You could potentially see me buying in grapes here over the next day. Ronan, do you have something there?
I'm just reading chat, man. The chat really is lit. It's awesome. No, I think that, hey, Animoca is definitely one of the most seasoned vets in the space, and they obviously have done very well. And a lot of the projects that they get involved with do relatively well, and also show a lot of staying power, which I think is really important for what's going on in the space right now. Right, we need projects that have longevity as much as possible, right, to keep the interest and keep people like still excited about the shit that's happening. So yeah, I could see that aspect, and I definitely would be watching it. I don't know if I would be buying in at the moment, but like it's worth seeing what the heck happens. I'm also one that like, when you start to see these trends start to pick up, watch to see how they play out, watch to see what the cycles, like these little mini cycles, look like, and then maybe take advantage of one. You know what I mean? That's kind of always been how I traded since the wax days. It's like watch, observe, learn, and then act upon that knowledge.
Ronan, I need your last take here before you jump out. Do you like the 1 foot Doodles toys? Did you see them?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, dude. I'm a fan of just continuing to grow that IP. I think like we had this conversation last week, and Gif and I are very aligned in that like we want to see more of that cool shit happening, right? Like and hey, my primary client is a toy company, so like I'm down for the vinyl. I got vinyl all over my freaking room, so I think it's cool, man. I'm still a huge fan of Doodles and the project. I think that they are one of those brands that's really, really pushing product market fit outside of Web3. And I think we need as much of that as possible.
I agree with all of that, and yet I wish they'd chosen cooler doodles. They went with like the basic brand, doodle, and so I get it. I just wish, I think they could have done a lot cooler characters than the ones that they chose. That's my take. And Ronan, I know you got to hop out of here, but we have one last really important thing to get your take on. So yeah, this is key. I need to know, what are you thinking about the McDonald's Grimace PFPs launching in Singapore? How lit are these? Yes or no?
I was like, did we just end the show? Oh man, that was funny.
That's my mute button for GIF when he gets off the rails too much.
All I got to say about that, and then I'm jumping, is put them in the same bucket as like the Smurfs. All right, I love
or the
guys.
grapes, or the grapes.
I don't know, like at least like Q always has a good way with words to get me to like kind of see it in a different light, but definitely exactly like the Smurfs.
Grimace looks like a grape.
Yeah, I think he is a grape, isn't he? I don't know. I remember having that argument when I was a kid. Anyway, I love you guys. Appreciate everybody in chat, and I will definitely catch you guys hopefully next week.
I'll see you on the pickleball streets.
Hell yeah.
Lick the
Go
like.
for it. Lick the like, bump the bell. See you guys later.
Later, bud. All right, Gif, I need to see the Grimace one. I need to know the detail. I saw the Grimace. Unfortunately, that will haunt my memories. But what are the details with this drop? I know it's in Singapore. There's actually a healthy contingent of crypto folks in Singapore. That's probably why it's happening. But what the fuck's going on with Grimace?
Well, I'm assuming Grimace is a popular character for McDonald's franchises in Singapore. And also, yeah, crypto, I guess, in Singapore, like Axie Infinity, we know is based there. We looked at the map. We looked at Whale Swoosh's map. We know that the one main NFT project out there representing is Axie Infinity. So I don't actually know. I guess let's just pull it up and look quick. This is one of those ones to me that is so funny that like I want one. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like a dumb meme where it's like I would love to pull up to a fucking big space rocking this as a PFP.
That's so true. That's so true.
Because it's so ironically bad that it's funny, you know? But they are apparently soulbound. Holy
Wow.
heck. Okay. So there's no trading, no secondary on this. I'm sure McDonald's is doing that for legal reasons or
One
whatever.
of the most legitimate projects in the space right here, folks.
But like, I want one. And because I'm not in Singapore and they're all soulbound, like I'm literally going to go try and figure out with a VPN now how to set up a Singapore crypto wallet to fucking get in on this. I don't know how. I'm going to have to hire, I'm going to hire someone on Fiverr to go buy me enough McDonald's McNuggets or whatever it is to get me one of these fucking soulbound Grimace NFTs. Please. I want a Grimace PFP.
Why we don't now I want to get one.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I just need to know how much each one is.
Let us know in the comments.
Free.
Maybe this is a poll right now. What would you do? How much would you pay for a Grimace? What would you pay?
Run a poll like that.
run a poll. What would you pay? How many arms and legs would you give for a Grimace PFP soulbound token?
All right, here we go. Beginning the week of August 21st, the regional arm of the restaurant chain will offer up 2,000. These are going to go like hotcakes, free to claim and only available through McDonald's mobile app. And that's going to be tough. I don't have mobile VPN.
We got to get that mobile VPN, bro. That's what I'm saying.
A McDonald's representative confirmed the NFTs will be minted on Polygon. All right, so here's what you do, folks. You pay 10x or a quadrillion x because it's a free NFT. You're just going to buy this on secondary on OpenSea for whatever it goes for. That's what I'm going to do. You kidding me? 2,000? What do you think these go for?
The wallet with the soulbound token? Yeah.
I mean, you can't sell it. Fuck.
They're soulbound. That's what I'm saying, bro. So you got to sell the whole wallet. And I think they're going to go at a premium. Quantum Variant, shout out to you, sir, saying we need a Web3 Grimace dance from GIF. I have no idea what that would look like, but I think it would look something like that. All right. Stop showing it.
Doing that one. He wanted me to save him. I'm letting him stew in it. That's a nice white boy dance you got there, GIF. It's pretty solid.
It's the purple boy Grimace dance. All right. Yeah, sorry. It's Thirst Trap Thursday.
Marty McFly said, I sold my Yuga stuff into Squiggles a while ago. Smartest move. Then why do you keep talking about it? Stop. God. Like, you're gone. You're done. You're out.
No, you're never done. You're never done. That's
like
emotional damage.
I don't like my ex-girlfriend. I really don't. I'm pulling up her Instagram page right now.
That's true. That's actually pretty good. Jessica says upsetting in so many levels. You're welcome. The fuck was that? Great. Fair. Prodigy saying definitely got the Riz. Yo, salute. Somebody gets it. Somebody gets the Grimace dance. One person out there. All right. We did it.
This was always going to be the case, but Rec League here with the men. I don't know how many people are back in line. We're following this live on the Twitter feed here. I can check as well on the website, but 0.1549, that's about mint price. So these, you can pick these up on secondary now. I'm super interested in how this plays out, because if there's a ton left, this is an area we didn't want to get into there. And then you're going to see the of course, the fudders on Twitter say something like Rec League selling for mint price. Like there's going to be a lot of tweets here if we don't continuously get more sales on Rec League, which is not what we wanted to see. This is not what we wanted to see.
Wait, which part? Sorry, what do I want to see? What happened? I was over here enjoying the chat. Yo, I'm sorry. This chat has been distracting. Y'all have been like, this has been one of the few days that I've actually had trouble keeping up with y'all over here. Y'all are on one today.
That dance made me grimace. That was pretty good.
Wait, but what was okay? You had a Rec League update. You said something bad.
I did say something. And
also, by the way, the point of the grimace dance is to make you grimace. So success.
We're good. We're good. So you want to talk this Rec League situation, or you just want to?
We can stew in it as long as you want, Nifty Q.
Oof. All right. Here's the situation. I'm going to go onto the website as well for Rec League. What we, again, did not want to see is them falling well short. Obviously, a sellout would be fantastic, but you want to see them continuously sell out. There's about 17,900 left. I know that there's still people in line. It looks like almost half of the booster boxes have sold, but not half of the Majestic boxes.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they do to pivot with that. I mean, what's the price?
158, so about $280.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to see it sell out, but like they're still selling thousands of these things, and they have more mint rounds to go with the apes too, right? So like, I don't think that like just if they don't sell out 25,000 of this initial round that means it's not going to be successful. I just think,
Yeah, 7,000 up to this point have been sold from the Majestic boxes. So let me get that.
That's a lot.
Let's see.
And dude, in this market, like, and also again, you're asking people to bridge over to ape for it too.
1.5 milli. $1.4 million from just the Majestic boxes.
Yeah, this is not like a bad thing. So I don't know, like if people are just going to try and go FUD everything because they want to FUD it, of course. I'm not ready to FUD this.
They already paid $2 million.
Yeah, so and they've got multiple rounds of mints upcoming and a whole like reveal process that's going to take up over months. And again, they've got a legit game.
It's a misstep. If they don't get to at least half of these Majestic boxes, then it was a misstep to actually have the supply be that high. Right? They miscalculated on the demand. If they in fact do not at least sell 12,000 of these, I'm going to be very surprised. And I think it would have been a misstep. If they then obviously 2020 vision, but if you put them at 15,000 supply, you sell out and it makes news and all this stuff. Now it's not going to sell out. They're probably going to cut supply. I don't know what they do with the remaining of those. So it's cool to see half of the booster boxes being sold out, and they made $2 million. But I mean, they need to get down to at least 15. It's sitting at 18 right now. They need to get at least 15, where 10,000 of those Majestic boxes went. So
go mint one. Go get some ape. That's what I'd say. I don't know, man. I was gonna wait to see how it did, then buy it on secondary anyway. So, don't take advice from me. But I'm excited. I'm excited for it either way, man. I just I don't know. I agree with what you're saying though. Like, I don't know why people, again, we had a great convo recently with Black Dave and Trish about supply and what's too much. And it just seems like in this market, other than Pudgy Penguins, who I think fucking understands this really well, it doesn't seem like anybody understands supply and demand. It's kind of crazy to me, actually. Like, the question of what is too much. Okay, well, you can say technically nothing. There's no right answer. You can do as many as you want because it's digital. It's digital store space, right?
Yeah. Oh,
you can yeah, I just mean like you can have as much room as you want because the storage digitally is so cheap. So technically there's no right or wrong answer to what's too many. But in reality, the right answer is anything that outstrips your supply is too much. Or sorry, any supply that outstrips your demand is too much.
Yeah.
And again, you can look to drop culture and streetwear and fashion drops. You can look to the diamond market. You can look to other examples of businesses that have actually done a really good job of managing supply versus demand with these high-end sort of items and things like that. And it just seems like what they understand that so few people in the space understand is that you want to really, really get a good sense of your audience, of the demand, of the market, and then provide a new product at a supply level that's at like 25% of that demand. You don't want to outstrip your demand by like 5x. That doesn't look good. That doesn't increase demand beyond that. You actually build incremental demand by outstripping the demand, right? Each time, and showing that you can do that. So I don't understand why so many projects in this, like, dude, WAGMI United. It was just another example.
That was a price issue as well, yeah.
Price and supply. They had over 13,000 at a high price point during a bad market. Mm-hmm. Why don't more people? It's partially it's greed. A lot of it's greed. A lot of it's ignorance. A lot of it's just not understanding the market or supply and demand. But it does kind of shock me how consistently projects and founders in this space, they just see numbers. They just see big numbers and they say, well, if we sell it out at this amount, we're going to make $10 million. And they make that the sort of focus of their strategy. So you have to get to $10 million or whatever it is.
That's fair. I think that's true.
It's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've been covering the Rec League and we, have been looking at the details. I mean, there was information being put out that there were like more than 100,000, maybe even 200,000 signups. There were some situations where people were signing up and they didn't have the necessary ape in their wallet or like didn't have the funds to do so. So they actually made it so you couldn't enter this queue without having ape in your wallet. I'm sure that probably made a ton of people not have access to this sale. So anyways, this is still going on. There were 11,000 people, I think, or 12,000 people at peak in this line. So we're looking at the Rec League sale here, but obviously covering it is important. We want to see them be successful. $2 million in a single hour is not bad. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's not. But wait, how many people are still in line?
I need to check that because that's strictly coming from the people that are in line. So I'm trying to get screenshots from Twitter. You can't see the queue from the website. You can only see the remaining quantities. So. Got
it. I think it does seem like, any hiccups in a mint process also fucks things up. I think the fact that like they promised a randomized queue and then they didn't do that properly and they had to restart it probably also really hurt them here. Asmodai is asking, as a game, can the supply not continue as game gains popularity? Yeah, it totally can. Absolutely. This is kind of the point though, but it doesn't, like the way that psychology, branding, markets, behavior, all of this works, especially when you're dealing with assets in a marketplace, is that like demand actually goes up when supply is lower, right? It's the law of scarcity. It's how supply and demand works. And so when people see you sell out and there's more demand than supply, that actually increases demand. That's how you build the demand, build the brand, get more people excited over time. Again, this is what fashion brands understand. So it's not that they can't market the shit out of this, launch a great game, and then all of a sudden the demand goes up. It absolutely could. But I just think, to your point, Q, it would be probably smarter if they came in with a lower supply, saw demand, shoot past that, sell it out super fucking quick, and then there you go. High demand, low supply, floor price goes up. Exactly. Basic.
So what the argument is, Beast is saying here, and this is the argument with things like Dapper, right? Like where we've had CryptoKitties and all the products that Dapper has really touched, like Top Shot, saying, we don't like any of those products, for the most part, floor price has not increased. Like holders don't really see the value on the other end of it, but the argument is it gets out to more people, right? Like, because increasing supply, driving down floor price gets access to more people because nobody wants to touch a $10,000 asset. This is the delicate balance that we're playing in the NFT space, right? Because if they made this available at 50,000 and made it available for $50, there'd probably be more people playing Rec League. Like, let's be honest, if you made the asset $50. So I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that apes didn't have to pay. Like, I didn't join this mint. I'm holding, I already paid for my Yuga assets. Like I have multiple of these things. So I paid for it and I'm down on it by floor price if we're looking at it there. So I'm not minting. I'm just claiming when the free claim comes. So no apes actually, I think, I wouldn't say a majority, but there's a good amount of apes probably in my position where I'm just going to do my free claim. Why do I want to buy these majestic boxes? I think DP, I think this is the argument up here that we're having. Like them having it at 25,000 and making it available for, one of them was $70, $80. Like that is making shit more scalable. Like that isn't what we like the $1,000 mint, the 0.35 mint that we saw with like a Wagme United or something like that. They were trying to make it, but with that increased supply, now you have your holders that are like shit.
Like Jess is kind of hitting the nail on the head here when she's just pointing out like, hey, there's no one in the space right now. And that's kind of, again, back to what I'm saying is that people are not operating in the reality of the actual audience and the market and the demand as much as they are just looking at, well, so-and-so did this number. We need this number to get to this number. And it just seems like it's very out of touch and
you hit it
key, man, because the market sucks right now. So if you're going to launch now, you better update your strategy to match the market conditions and the demand. That's all I have to say about it. Jess says she has breaking news. Also, Jess, why aren't you on the show today? You've been absolutely killing it in the chat. You've had more to say than we have to say on this show. You should have come and hung out with us. Would have been great to have you on the show. Curious what your breaking news is. Quantum asking, is the 10K code a part of this number? Great question.
No. That's a claim. That's
what I'm saying. There's still more to come out of this, a long way to go. That's why it's like, dude, I don't know. Despite the fact that like, if it doesn't sell out a large percentage, I do think it's kind of like a poor move. I'm still very bullish on this. Like, I'm not ready to FUD it. Like I think a lot of people are going to go do on X.
They are 100% going to do that. So we're covering in a real time. Again, the Rec League mint has been well anticipated. I don't think the booster boxes will reach sellout. Like that's a lot of cells to reach sellout. What you'd like to see is at least 50% of these being bought up. Quantity at the booster boxes, you have reached that 50% mark. That's the cheaper box, and that could potentially sell out. So hopefully we see that. But what you'll see over the next day to weeks is FUD about the Rec League sale. That's what you're going to see. It doesn't sell out. They had too much supply. Game is whack. That's what's about to come out on your timeline about this game. So, and I agree with you, Giff. Like, I'm not ready to do that. That's still a shit ton of people that are about to get into this game. That's still a good amount of people that are going to get involved and play, not to mention all of the apes that are going to play this game as well. Like I think that was a little bit of the issue. I appreciate the free claims, but you had to know the apes weren't going to join the mint if they already have claimable mints, at least a majority of them or some of them.
No, they're just trying to free roll. Jess, so it looks like you're talking about the OpenSea update as well. That's what Fisker was bringing up as well. We did talk about it a little bit earlier in the show. To be honest, it's not super clear what it means. It seems like, it's not necessarily great. Doesn't seem like they're making the obvious choice to just support creator royalties on their marketplace no matter what. Seems like more kind of waffling about why they're not going to do that. That's the gist I got from it. emails going out, updates coming out from OpenSea about creator royalties. I'm sure we'll cover it more over the coming days and weeks, but it kind of seems like more of the same from OpenSea and not just choosing to take the side of artists despite what they'll tell you on Twitter, despite the WAGME culture, narrative that they continue to go with. I don't want to spend more time on that. How much more do we want to talk about today, Q? I'm going through the comments right now.
I think that's it. We did have a PayPal Ledger integration. I don't know if we I'll link it for you guys to check out. I think it's a cool update. I don't know if the decentralization and the security maxis are going to be too happy with Ledger getting in bed with PayPal. But this is definitely, like you say, that Web 2.5 integration.
Yeah, which is what we need. I don't know, man. We can do a whole other combo on that.
Yeah.
Sarah confirming they just sent an email. Yes, thank you for sharing. Pool B&B saying apes are busy with heavy metal. Probably a lot of them are right now too. That's fair. And back to your initial kind of confusion around the mech in the trailer. How much is Yuga stomping on their own games when they're gonna partner and promote a bunch of other games? Because at a certain point, attention within your community is finite. Attention and energy and resources. So it'll be interesting to see how they balance that, with other game partnerships.
Yeah, it's true. To your support question there, or your topic, GIF, and we mentioned Kagion talking about why cyberkongs will do well long terms, because they have good backing, they have a good treasury, and they have good individuals with large treasuries. I think that you might be mid-curving it if you're saying, like, again, and I think Marty does a lot of mid-curving here on the show of saying, the Yuga bad, Yuga this, Yuga that. It's like Yuga could buy out this mint, and they won't do so because that like ruins it, right? Like then the supply's all whacked out. But they can do things with the amount of money that they have, with how little liquidity it takes to move this market, that I don't necessarily see a situation where Rec League is not offering a ton of value back to the people that are playing it. It's that simple. Like, Yuga has that much money, that much more money. Like, I would love to see the next biggest treasury. I don't know how much Yuga has, but I would love to see the next biggest treasury, because it is just an obscene amount of money. So again, like, I don't know what they'll do to market make on their project and all these different things, but it will be one of the most traded collections. You will see that. So we'll see. Yeah.
And Marty's dying laughing, but Prodigy's probably closer to right on never fading Yuga. Quantum shouts out the Nouns as another example of a big treasury as well. Asmodai making a good point though about the PayPal integration with Ledger, and why that's cool is that it might be Web 2.5 on ramp, top of funnel way to bring more people in through their existing marketplace, existing user base, but then offering that Web3 decentralized off ramp or self custody option. I guess it's not an off ramp, but at least a self custody option through Ledger is actually really good, and to me, good news. So great point. Jessica's go ahead.
Zero X is saying Coinbase suspends USDT trading, FUD will tank NFTs. How much trading of NFTs is happening in USDT?
I don't know. That was kind of an interesting take. I'm not super familiar with where that's coming from. Seismon Konis, I don't know how to say your name. I apologize for that. But
Kaneshi?
Yeah. They're asking, is Frank leaving DeGods? No, Finn is. So one of the other founders, there's a couple of them. Frank is not leaving, as far as we know. Finn, DeGods announced on Twitter, and we did cover that early in the show. Easy saying ramps are good. Prodigy saying one day I'll own a Yuga asset. At this point, Yuga should gift me one. Great point. Yo, this chat has been lit. Y'all been amazing. Let's wrap it up soon. Yep. But seriously, y'all have killed it. This has been, again, one of the few shows I've had trouble keeping up with y'all. Y'all have been absolutely crazy over there. It's been an awesome convo. I will say again, Jess, you should have just come on because you led the convo over there in a big way, and we appreciate that. But yeah, just know that we see you, and we love what you're doing over there. And we hope that you will come back, hang out with us again next week, because this is the last NFT Live of the week.
So we did have a coverage of WAGMI United and WAGMI United's responses that actually got, coverage there in the WAGMI channel and like broader Twitter that was related to that. We had the moderator who got let go, and people like close to this situation reach out to us and say, "Hey, I want to come on Twitter Spaces or X Spaces and talk about the situation with WAGMI." So that's what we're going to have on Monday of next week. That's going to be exciting, man. It's good to get more info and do some honest journalism in this space. But excited for that. Excited for the rest of the week. We do have a Friday. We're not going to be here live with you guys, of course, but it does exist. And we do have a weekend to touch grass on as well. So all of that stuff is happening. We had another fantastic week with you guys in Web3 and NFTs on NFT Live. So excited, man. You guys were lit. As Gifted said, can't expect much more from community chat there. So our vibe, our tribe, GIF, take us out, man. And again, I will see you guys next week. Survive till then, man. Grapes. I'm buying the grapes.
Hey, grapes are up. It's a good day. Nakas are down though. So that balances at 0.3. It's not down that much. But lick the toads. But definitely lick the like, fam. And subscribe, bump the bell, all that type of stuff. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it will make sure that you continue to get more updates from us, these beautiful faces up here, all the cool stuff that we're doing with this awesome community with you. And Web3 Network continues to chug on and grow and try and experiment with new things. If you haven't seen the rehash over there on the X app, you're missing out. We're trying to curate into these easily digestible threads all of these headlines that we talk about across both GM Web3 and here on NFT Live. We wrap all that up together into a nice, beautiful, sexy package for you to just just get after it over there on the X and enjoy. So we're going to be dropping that here in just the next hour or two. And yeah, would love for y'all's reposts, retweets, whatever you want to call it, your likes, and again, just even comments on things that we're missing. We always lean on y'all and appreciate your help, making sure that we're not missing any of the most important info and updates from around this great Web3 community. That's it. That's all I got, Q, other than saying our vibe, our tribe.
Yeah, the only other thing I want to see before we leave is one last Grimace dance that we will go out with on NFT Live. I need to see it one more. Gibbs not going to give it to us. Oh, my God. He did it once, folks. That's all you're getting. All right, OVOT. See you next week.